This is assignment 1, question number 7. Given an array of integers, print all the leaders in the array. An element is a leader if it's greater than all the elements to its right. Here's a sample array that we'll use later. In this example, the leaders would be 2, 5, and 17. The rightmost element is always a leader. Let's start with the function definition. And we'll call it leaders. It accepts its inputs is an integer array. And we'll open up the function definition. So what we're going to do is decrement through this array, or iterate from the rightmost element towards the leftmost element. We'll start by defining what our max now is, starting at the rightmost element. So this 2 is going to begin as our max now. Now that we've set that up, we'll print out max now, because the rightmost element is always a leader. So let's create a for loop where, since our rightmost element is always a leader, we're going to have I start from at the second to the last element of this array. We're going to go until I is less than or equal to 0, so until the 0th element. And we're going to decrement. What we'll do inside this for loop is, if the ith element is greater than max now, max now will become that ith element. And we'll print out that element. We'll close off this if statement, close off our for loop, and close off our function. So let's run this sample array through this leaders function. I is going to begin at array.length -2. So the length of this array is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I is going to begin at 6 minus 2 is 4. So we'll start at I equals 4, and we'll have our value for max now. So before we enter this for loop, max now is initialized as 2, so max now was 2. And we're printing out max now, which is 2, so we'll have our printouts go here. So we've printed out 2. Max now is 2. We enter this for loop. I is 4. If the fourth element of this array. So if 0, 1, let's write that out, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If the fourth element of this array, 5, is greater than max now, which is true, 5 is greater than 2, max now becomes that fourth element. So max now is now 5, and we'll print out 5. Moving on, decrementing I is now 3. Funny enough, the value of this is also 3. So is 3 greater than 5? No. And we don't print anything, we decrement I. So is I equals 3, nothing. I equals 2. So is 4 greater than 5? Nope. So nothing. Decrement I equals 1. At I equals 1, is 17 greater than 5? Yeah, it is. So 17. And we, now I is 0, we can still enter this for loop. Is 16 greater than 17? No, it's not. And here, we had printed 17 there in the console.writeLine statement. So yeah, we've printed all the leaders in this array as we expected. Let's go through the time complexity and the space complexity for this function. We're only initializing one variable, so this space complexity is going to be constant. As for time complexity, we're only iterating through n-1 elements, but the time complexity is still going to be O of n, or linear, for this.